Hello everyone, welcome back to Pt3.flv. Now this is the third part of the tutorial series, and since we managed to dissolve our logo in a really cool way, now let's start to add the final touch and brush-ups. First, let's visit the compositor, and that can be done either by choosing it from the top where we got the different default window configurations, or by hitting Ctrl and left arrow, which will cycle through the different setups we have. And yeah, let's visit the compositor. We'll use nodes and the backdrop. And in order to get an image there, we need to render. And let me set the render size to 50% because we don't need all of this. And while this is rendering, we can already add nodes. Shift A, add a viewer node. Output viewer. Okay. And now let's see, I guess we got some white parts here, so let's add a glare node, and this is filter glare. Now if you shift control click, we can add this to the viewer node, and you see we got some glare going on here. And the quality for the final render I set it to high, but up until now we don't need that much quality. And yeah, actually that's quite it, because we'll have other glares and other parts. And well, this is the first thing. The second thing I want to add, and then we're already finished with the compositing. The second thing is motion blur for those pieces here, and we can really easily add this in Blender. It has something that's called vector blur, which really saves processing time compared to a full sample motion blur. And we can enable it by going to layers, and under passes let's choose vector, which will save the speed vector of each of those small parts here. So now let's maybe get somewhere where the parts are already flying around quite fast, and re-render F12. And while it's rendering, we can already add a node for this, and this should be lens distortion. No, where is it? Filter vector blur here. You got some glare going on here, and now we need to add the image. The C, which means which actually says which of those parts is how far away is it from the camera. And here's the speed, which will give all the speed information. And then here we got the flyer shrapnel flying around. And for the final resolution here, we have that's actually HD ready 720p. The amount of samples is not enough, and so if you do the final render, you should set the samples up to 64. And yeah, actually that's all about it. Maybe you can also increase the blurriness of everything, but I think this is looking pretty good. And what I also added is a small vignette. And adding a vignette has become really easy with a lot of control in the newest version of Blender. Yeah, just go up here to the textures panel. Yeah, you can do this by middle clicking and then dragging here, and so you can move this panel here. And we'll create a new texture which we will not use. Choose a blend, and here the blend is not linear but either spherical or quadratic sphere, it depends. And then and the colors, let's create a ramp so we have control over it. And now here on the left we got black, which is completely transparent, and in the inside we got on the right we got white. And we will change this to black too, but make it completely transparent either. And the one on the left, let's not make it any transparent. And if we show the alpha now, you see, well, this is basically, it's a vignette. And here we can edit by Shift A, input, texture. Now let's choose the texture we just created. Let's call it textured. No, it's not so good, let's call it vignette. So let's choose the vignette. Yeah, here we go. And now what we can do is we can do a simple alpha over. So let's add an input node, and here under color it must be, and there must be alpha over. We got this here, we got this here. And now, yeah, it's vignetted, but it's much too strong, way too strong. So let's change this here a little bit by moving the slider here, and maybe change the progression from linear to ease. Yeah, much better now, much better. And now when we click on vignette again, you see it's not that much vignetted, and well, the complete black is a little harsh. And let's say an alpha value of 75. That's, for some reason, that's half transparent, about half transparent. Will give us yeah, the effect is now much better, and I guess we can get this a little further down here. And now if we reload the vignette, everything is a little better, but maybe let's check first how it looks when the text is still there, because we don't want the edges of the text to be too much darkened. So yeah, no, they are darkened, but maybe this might actually look quite okay. Yeah, I think I had this a little less. I had things a little less. How do you call it? It was smaller because the camera was a little farther away. So let's Shift F and move it out a little bit. Yes. So this here might look a lot better now if we render. The vignette shouldn't burn too much into the text. Oh, but there's a little bit too much glare going on around there. Let's see what's happening if we yeah, we will need to work on the hue a little bit. So let's go back to the default view, tap into edit mode, select it first, then tap into edit mode. And now let's see what we can do about the hue part. Practically it's got a bad creasing up here and here. One should move the edges a little. So let's see whether we can actually get up down there. Anyhow, Shift C and sometimes it can get a little bit difficult to move around here in the 3D view, but we're about there, and let's see what will happen if we choose here edge select mode. And move those edges a little bit. And remove these. I'm clicking a little much. Now if we hit no, what's wrong with the edges? What's wrong with the edges? Okay, let's hit G, constrain the movements by the Z axis, and move it down just a very little bit. Just very little. I guess this is already too much. That's too much, I guess. Maybe I should try something different. Let's go to N and increase the mean crease. And now when we render F12, so let's see. Yeah, we don't see any glare coming here. And yeah, let's double check this by rendering again in full resolution, because the crease just practically means that the modifier normally is very smooth, and this just sharpening things up. Yeah, when rendering in full resolution, there are a lot more parts getting the glare. So we can also change this in the compositor, I guess, by turning up the threshold, so maybe 1.5. This might be a lot faster. Should be a lot faster. Or let's check how it's looking with 5. 2. There's 2 doesn't have anymore on the C and on the U, just on the T. There's still a little bit of glare here. You can see on the G. Yeah, here it was. So I really think we'll might need to do a lot more changes, because the threshold shouldn't be too high. Otherwise, we don't have enough glitter later on. So let's let's increase this so the black parts aren't so much on the left and right part so strong. This appears to be a little better, and now let's see what we can do concerning the all this glare. We're currently at about at a not so good position. Maybe if I hit Alt and right click, you can select the entire edge, and then let's hit G, constrain the movement to the Z axis and move this a little in. And we need to do this with the second T2 in this case. So Alt, click on the edge loop, G, C, and just a little bit. Yeah, and if we do render this now, let's see if we could get rid of all those unwanted glare. It's away from the T. It's still in the G. It will still be in the G. Come on, a little glare never hurt anybody. Well, now that things are looking good, thanks to the compositor, let's work a little bit more on the dissolve of the text itself, because currently, as you might remember, it's a little extreme, and that's basically because the force field is moving way too fast. And we can get rid of this problem if we first see at which location it's here it has the location keyframe set. For some reason there are 2 more, and well, maybe let's change this. Yeah, we need to change this to that it's not as fast. And we can do this in the animation editor. And up here we got the dope sheet, where we practically can change the timing of our keyframes. So, where is it gone? Ah, here we are. Here. Yeah, we are somewhere here. And now let's they're already moving. Let's see, it's changing the location, and let's see what's the deal. What is the deal here? This is this here should be moved here too. And now let's box select them. And what we're gonna do is those are just keyframes which we're gonna move first. Okay, as first all, deselect all by hitting A, then box select those. Actually, we can put this down. Now Shift D and move them around up to frame about 50, I'd say. So yeah, here we are, and now the field should stay the same. Yeah, and the particles are of course moving already because we got because this is in the cache, but now the force field should stay, and when it starts moving later on, it actually is faster. But that's also a problem because we have moved it too far, and if we don't move it this far but more to the center of the Pt3.flv logo, things will be a lot better. So let's we've made it faster now, and we'll make it slower once again. So it's stopping right about in the middle of the T, where the so that it can disperse the fonts and all the particles better instead of just throwing them to the right because it's moving. So let's check up here. Yeah, here we got the values set, and let's see, here are a few values set, and the second place there are also a few values set. Let's move G, let's move this over here. Yeah, now it's all now they are all in the same spot. And now if we change the if you change the location here, we have no problems. So it was the T was about here 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 of these. So let's go to frame 131 and change it to 4 of move it G. Now I guess it's about here is perfect. Right about here. Let's hit escape first and see how the it's up there, 2 blender units, and now let's change it here to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it needs to get here exactly positioned. Let's not care too much about this. Hit I to insert a keyframe for location, and now we should also once again deselect all, hit B, and now move them a little further, say 160 maybe. So B, G, and now we can get them here, I guess. And now let's once again check for the particle system. So let's get over here and look for the bake. Where is it? Here's the cache. Yeah, it's a quick cache. Let's free all the bakes. Oh, and don't forget to move the out, otherwise it might freeze. And now, yeah, bakes are all free. So let's hit bake and wait a little. Wow, the outcome, at least on my box, is pretty cool. Take a look. The force field will start moving at frame 50 right now, and then it's first slicing up the fonts as it's usual. Then they are starting to dissolve in this nice noise-like. Yeah, it's just looking pretty cool, and here you got the very cool, very organic movement, and what's happening then is extremely cool. They are thrown out to the right, some parts are thrown out to the left, and parts are returning, and they're actually then flying towards the camera. So look, I just did this render there. Using F11 you can change back to your last render, and look, all the shrapnel actually shooting at the camera that's or to the left of the camera. That's actually looking pretty cool, and yeah, I'm quite happy with the result. And yeah, now unfortunately we don't have in a lot of time left, so let me just show you how I created the intro for the text fades in. And at first I wanted the text to not fade in, but to fly in, but unfortunately, due to the low poly count here, you could notice some artifacts in on the round parts here. So just a quick so just to wait. Gee, what's wrong? Ah, the pivot center is still in the center. Let's choose the median point, and now when we rotate it, we're just cracking up the particle system and nothing else. Because yeah, we need to rotate it from the 0 point. Yeah, now when we have rotated it, and here down at the bottom, do you see those bigger parts, and actually everything? When it's not directly from the front, you really see all those faces we got here, and here at the bottom and everything. And also when you get a lot of bad angles, you start to see those faces, and so it was better for me to I looked for something else. Yeah, so this is perfect, and let me show you how I choose to fade in the font. And I did this by animating the material. First of all, of course, I animated the transparency, the C transparency. So let's turn on transparency, and the alpha here is at 1. That's perfect on frame 50. So it's got 2 seconds to fade in, and on frame 1 the alpha will be 0. but that wasn't quite cool enough for me, because now let's render it once again, and you might notice that yeah, it's just more transparent than before, and this wasn't as cool as I hoped for, even though the HDR is already doing a very good job. But it wasn't quite what I hoped for, so I also changed animated the texture, and I animated the influence on the color from here's the texture. Oh, it's the blend, the real here, the HDR. Let's insert a keyframe here. Insert, perfect. Let's go to frame 1, and now let's change it to 1.1, and when we change it this way, it will create some sort of overflow of the colors towards black, with just the shining parts still appearing, and this is what made this really cool intro look, that after fading with those nice fonts, and yeah, it also at some point the color value will be at 1, which will look pretty cool, and yeah, we still need to, actually we might still need to change the vignette if there's time. So yeah, you get the intro. Actually, this is how I got the pretty cool fading in the intro, by animating the color value. I guess right about here it might look pretty cool. And now let's also animate the fade out. Yeah, here it's got the ultra metallic look combined with quite a little bit of alpha already. And what also should be animated is the fade out of the particles. And let's fade them out at let's start fading them at frame 170. Now we need to animate the material properties of the normal font material, because the shrapnel is all real geometry from the front font. So let's hit here I for the transparency, and around frame 220 let's reduce the transparency to 0, and hit I again. And now let's see how it's looking from here. You shouldn't see a lot right here. So yeah, nearly completely black. And from here it should be awesome. There shouldn't be, sorry, I didn't want to insert any keyframe, I wanted to render. And now there shouldn't be anything visible anymore. And if you've noticed, in the original tutorial I also had created a sort of glitter at the end. So there's like this magic sparkles that appeared at some point, and at the end it was all just sparkling and nothing else. And well, if you want to find out how I did this, you get the blend file from the original blend file. I'll also pack it, and so we got 2 blend files this time, one in the stage of the tutorial and the other one from the original, because maybe you will find out this way how I did this, because unfortunately there ain't not enough time anymore. Yeah, so we've reached the end of the tutorial. I couldn't show you everything, but I also think that's not too bad, because it's kind of an incentive for you to think about how the final effect might be achieved, and you can still have the blend file, so you can dig into it and explore what's up, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. So yeah, dig in, play around with it, experiment, and check everything out. And well, if you got any comments or criticisms for the tutorial, or got any ideas how to improve things, make things better, show me your renders and tell me about it. I'm really open to criticism, and I really take it seriously. So yeah, all in all, have fun, happy blending, and don't forget to come back to Pt3.flv for a lot of new cool Blender tutorials. Bye.